continue with chapter number 3 of Hilchos De'os in Halachah number 2. So I just look a little ahead, so it's very long Halachah. Hopefully we're going to finish it today, but if not, we're going to split it. Okay. And it says, a person should direct his heart and totality of his behavior to one goal, becoming aware of HaShem. Blessed be He. The way he rises and speaks should be directed to this end. For example, when involved in business dealing or while working for a wage, he should not think solely of gathering money. Rather, he should do these things so that he will be able to obtain that which his body needs: food, drink, home, and wife. Similarly, when he eats, drinks, engages in intimate relations, he should not intend to do these things solely for pleasure, to the point where he will eat, drink only which is sweet to the palate and engage in intimate relations for pleasure. Rather, he should take care to eat and drink only in order of to be healthy of body and limb. Therefore, he should not eat all of the palate desires like a dog or a donkey. Rather, he should eat what is beneficial for the body, be it bitter or sweet. Conversely, he should not eat what is harmful to the body, even though it is sweet to the palate. For example, a person should, with a warm constitution, should not eat meat or honey, nor drink wine, as Shlomo has stated in a parable. Eating much honey is not good. It's Mishlei 25:27. One should drink and wine juice, even though it is bitter. For then he will be eating and drinking for medical reasons only, in order to become healthy and be whole. For a man cannot exist without eating and drinking. Similarly, he should not engage in physical intimacy except to keep his body healthy and to preserve the human race. Therefore, he should not engage physical intimacy whenever he feels desire, but only when he knows that it is required for the seminal emission, for medical reasons, or in order to preserve the human race. Okay, so I mean, as you understand, there are many topics in just one halachah. Okay, Baruch Hashem. So let's start from the beginning and see if we can do as much as we can. From the beginning, a person should direct his heart and totality of his behavior to one goal. Right. So let's see, to one goal, and that's how Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, when we start. I think in its very was it very? No, it was not in the very beginning. I don't remember what section was it. Right, but that's, I mean, he copies from Rambam directly. Right, so that's how a person should direct all his actions, right? His heart, totality of his behavior to one goal. Commentary. In Shmone Prakim, chapter 5, Rambam addresses himself to many of the concepts mentioned in this and following Halachah. He begins that chapter with a declaration. A person must control all his powers, must control all the powers of his soul with his intellect, and concentrate on a single goal at all times, to comprehend God, blessed be He, to the extent that the man can know Him. All of the activities, what he does, the way he rests, and what he says should lead to this goal. Okay, so let's do this commentary again. So again, a person must control all his powers of soul with his intellect. So intellect is in the brain, right? Intellect is in the brain, and soul, the good inclination, the Eitzer Chatov is in the brain, right? In the head, and Yetzer Hara is in the heart. Okay, so a person must use his intellect. Meaning, what does it mean to use the intellect? Using meaning, the meaning is that he must learn as much as possible about Hashem, about his mission in life, and that's the only reason I came here. So to waste my time for nonsense, it would be ridiculous. Why would I do that, right? And then a person makes all his life as one continuous service of Hashem, right? Even working. So a person is working, person has business, and he has to take care of whatever needs to be taken care of the business. So, but the main goal, the main point must be, yes, I have my business, I'm working for a boss, doesn't matter. I do my job honestly, right? Honestly, why? Because Hashem said so. It says in last week parasha, I think you have to have right weights, right? You should not have the wrong weights, right? So meaning do business honestly. Okay. So and what is one single goal at all times? So when person the way I see it, right? When person contemplates about one single goal at all times, so many questions and many desires they just simply fall off. Right, because is it consistent with my goal? No, right, yeah, I have some desires, but is it going to bring me close to my end goal? No, right, and that's how a person can regulate their behavior. Right, so what is the goal at all times? To comprehend God, blessed be He, to the extent the man can know Him. And right, and people say, yeah, we cannot know God, but even if we try to understand and know Hashem as much as He allowed us, right, to know Him through the Torah, so it would be a lot. We would spend the whole life just try to learn about this. So all of his activities, what he does, the way he rests, right, and what he should and what he says should lead to this goal. Just 1 second, sorry. Should lead to this goal. Okay, continue. Okay, so again, the whole sentence. A person should direct his heart and his totality to the behavior of his behavior to one goal, becoming aware of God. That's a goal of every person. Blessed be He. The way he rests, rises, speaks, should be all directed to this end. Right? So, and sometimes a person wants to talk to, or you want to talk to that person. And you ask yourself, is it going to conducive to my being close to Hashem or not? Or just waste of time? And it's not only waste of time. I'm going to put myself in a situation that very, very possible that person is going to speak Lashon Hara, and I'm going to have a choice to walk away, to stop, to change the topic, or or I don't know, and or just listen because I don't want to offend that person. Right, and when you think about it, everything, our actions should become very, very clear. What should we do? So we're not going to put ourselves in that situation. Right? Again, the way he rests. Right. So rest also must be for glory of Hashem. So right, I'm tired, but tomorrow I have a big plans. I want to learn a lot of Torah. I want to teach maybe Torah, learn with somebody else. I have a chavrusa. He's on not on my level, and he needs me to understand, and he wants he needs my help. So just because all of us, when we learn something, so we can teach that subject. You don't have to be expert in all of the subject. You could be semi-expert, for example, in this Hilchos De'os, where we covered. So you can teach other people. You can learn with his spouses, right? So that's is going to be our goal, to get close to Hashem and to get other people close to Hashem. The way the rest rises, right? Rises, of course, and speak should be all directed to this end, right? And all of this. So person rises. So sometimes, especially in the winter, when it's very dark, you don't want to get up. I say, look, I have audience, right, with Hashem. there is a special time that he's going to be there, and I'm not going to be there. How it's going to look? He's a king of the kings. So now you have energy to jump out of your bed. How can I be late? Commentary 17. In a previous halacha, Rambam condemns asceticism and overly worldliness, right? So asceticism is one extreme, overly worldliness another extreme, right? In this halacha, he says that the desire intent of our worldly involvement to know God, right? So meaning what? So all of this extreme, right, to get away from physicality, from material world is not good. To be only in the material world is also not good. So, but the middle ground that Rambam is trying to explain us is to be involved in this world and take as much as you need in order to be servant of HaShem. So if you need a lot, okay, for whatever reason, for example, a person wants to host many people, right? And so many people should come to his house and eat. Okay, so maybe he needs a mansion or something, right? And people can stay and I don't know, right? Maybe have a little kollel and one of the wings of his castle. There is no problem, right? There is no problem. So he needs a lot. But other people who do not need all of these things, they live a normal, simple life. So maybe they need 1 bedroom apartment, 2-3 bedroom apartment. That's it. They don't need anymore. 1 second. 1 second. Sorry. Okay. No problem. Okay. So again, it depends what is going to bring a person close to Hashem. In chapter 1, Halachah 6, the Rambam introduces the religious component into development of ethical personality, pointed out that we must imitate God's qualities, right? As you spoke in the short chapter. In this Halachah, he adds further point. All of the man's actions are to be directed to awareness of God. Okay. All the man's actions must be directed to awareness of God. The concept of knowing God recalls the opening halacha of the Mishnah Torah, the fundamental principle upon which all fundamental principles are based, and the pillar of the wisdom is to know that there is a primary being. So, I mean, it sounds a little simple, but it's not. Again, the fundamental principle upon which all fundamental principles are based. So without this fundamental principle that there is a creator in the world, so all other things, they fall apart. Right? It's like a building without base. And the pillar of the wisdom is to know that the prime being. So when you have this knowledge of the primary being, then you can build up on it. In both halachas, Rambam emphasizes how the knowledge of God is not an abstract intellectual pastime, but rather the all-encompassing commitment to embracing every aspect of the experience. Torah living does not confine God to the synagogue or a house of study, but provides us with the means to relate Him within every dimension of our lives. Al-Hatishua. Okay, so let's do it again. It's very beautifully said, and we're going to explain. In both halachas, so in that one and this one, Rambam emphasizes how the knowledge of God is not abstract intellectual pastime, right? So yeah, I know about God. Okay, so he created the world. Okay, good for us, and that's it. No, but rather all of the encompassing commitment, embracing every aspect of our experience. So, but now I know that there is Creator. There is something that He wants me to do, right? And He put me in this world for a specific purpose, right? Now, after I understand there is a Creator and there is consequences to our actions, now everything changes. So it's not abstract knowledge that I can for example, I know the population of one of the country. How does it help me? It does not help me. right? Because it's abstract knowledge, right? But here, knowledge about Hashem, it's life-changing. Torah living does not confine God to the synagogue and the house of study. So, and unfortunately, there are many people that's how they live. So, in a synagogue, he could be holy tzaddik, right? But he goes out and he puts his kippah in a pocket, and he behaves like animal, right? And some people say, yeah, but it's our tradition not to wear kippah. I said, why would you not wear kippah? Right? Is there something wrong with the kippah? No, a baseball hat. You and your baseball hat. You understand? That's a big problem for a Jew. So he's trying to hide his identity for some reason. If it's a dangerous area, so move out, right? But if it's not dangerous area, if your life is not not in danger, there is something else. You're trying to hide something, right? So Hashem is not only in the synagogue and study hall, right? But he's actually everywhere. Right, even after we go out of the synagogue and go into life, right, into, as they say, real life, which is not, it's a fake life. Okay. And that's the reason we say Aleinu l'shabeach at the end, right, and end of the prayer, because when you leave synagogue, so for us to be strong, we stand of the pressure. Continue. For example, involvement in business dealings or while working for a wage, right? He should not think solely about gathering money, right? So a person is working for somebody, so he has to contemplate that I have to be honest, right? In my business dealing, right? Am I doing according to Halachah? And right, it could be multiple reasons why, multiple issues. Okay. So commentators say he should not view acquiring money as the end of its right? So meaning, yeah. So I'm working to get them. No, I need to do the mitzvahs. I need to have a Shabbos dinner, right? Shabbos meals, and that's why I need money. So in order to get money, I need to go work, right? But why I'm working? No, I just told you because of the Shabbos meals. That's it, or to give children education. So that's how Jews supposed to think. Not I'm getting this amount of money. It's money amount is irrelevant. I need this job in order to provide for my family, right? To put the food on the table. That's it. Right. So, rather, he should do these things so that he will be able to obtain that which his body needs. So, right? So it's not like luxury and planes or something, or it's 17th suit or something, right? So only what the body needs: food, drink, home, and a wife, right? So I mean, for this you need to work a little. So of course there are people work in different fields, right? So but the main goal is food, drink, home. Like it's normal. In Hashem puts our holy soul in this in this physical body, and this body needs to live something, right? Cats can sleep outside in the winter or something, like, and they will survive. If you put a person, even a healthy one, strong guy, right, one winter night, that's like he's going to die. Most of them are going to freeze to death, right? So people are very vulnerable compared to the animals, right? So that's why we need to live somewhere, right? All these things. Commenting. However, as Rambam continues in the following Halachah, the maintenance of the physical well-being is also not the end of its own right. Right, so that's many people have a big problem with that. So they into being healthy and I don't know, doing all of these things in order to get healthy. Yeah, to get healthy is very good, but the end goal is I want to be healthy so I can I can serve Hashem properly. That's it. Because when a person has this ache or that ache, somebody has a headache and cannot concentrate, and like I don't know, earache. I remember I had earache, some problem, like somebody like piercing my brain, right? Like pain that like no other. You understand? And some other people, some other pain out of the other maladies, so a person cannot concentrate. they cannot perform, they cannot walk, they cannot stand, they cannot sleep, they cannot do anything. If a person cannot sleep, guess what? The person is always tired. Always. Try to learn when you're tired, right? So that's why we need healthy body. Again, not the health is not the end of its own, right? On its own right, but the health is to preserve the soul. So a combination of body and soul can perform mitzvahs. Right? Rather, it is also only the means for service of God, as we explain. Continue. Similarly, when he eats, drinks, and engages in intimate relations, he should not intend to do these things solely for pleasure. Right? Solely for pleasure, to the point where he will. Okay. So let's stop here because it's the many commentaries. Okay. So even all these physical things. Right, and a person said like, if I don't drink and eat and have intimate relation for pleasure, what I need them for, right? So, but not solely for pleasure. There is other reason, much more important reason. Commentary in Shmona Prakim. Baruch Hashem that we cover Shmona Prakim. So as I said when we learned Shmona Prakim, so many times. These ideas interconnect many times. So in Shmona Prakim, we had many commentaries from Hilchos De'os, and here we have many commentaries from Shmona Prakim. Okay, so in some sense, it's like in my mind, it's the same subject in my mind, but Rambam split it in two. Okay. In Shmona Prakim, Rambam also uses expressions solely for pleasure. Solely for pleasure. Okay. Here he uses what? 20. Not only. Should not intend to do these things solely for pleasure. Okay. Not solely for pleasure. Indicate that Rambam does not advocate life without physical pleasure. Right? Meaning there is no problem to have pleasure in this life, without physical pleasure. Note also the passage from Rambam's commentary, Mishnah Sanhedrin 7:4, quoted below. There is nothing wrong with enjoying food, for example, as long as one does so with the framework of maintaining health. So a person needs to eat breakfast, and this breakfast like came to be delicious. What's the problem, right? So person eats this breakfast, healthy breakfast, and it's delicious. There is no problem to enjoy the breakfast or any other food. Just 1 second. There's nothing wrong again with enjoying food, for example, as long as one does so with framework to maintain health. Indeed, in Shmona Prakim, Rambam emphasizes how one may use the pleasure to engage himself to perform, encourage themselves to act necessary to perform the acts necessary to maintain his health. So meaning that person promised himself, if I'm going to do this, so at the end, as a reward, I'm going to get ice cream. You understand? Or something. So like physical rewards, there is no problem with physical reward, even to oneself, right? So I'm going to study for 2 hours non-stop, and after 2 hours, I'm going to have dinner. Okay, there is no problem. So let's do again the whole sentence because it's very long. Similarly, when one eats, drinks, and engages in intimate relations, he should not intend to do these things solely for pleasure, to the point where he will eat and drink only that which is sweet in the palate, to the palate, and engage in intimate relations for pleasure, right? So again, is eating allowed? Yes, it's allowed. But if a person eats only what is sweet, so it's not good for health. Right, because the person eats for pleasure. That's the problem. So sometimes, for health, as we're going to say on the next page, you have to eat something bitter, right? Not so pleasant. Why? Because again, the main goal of the food to maintain the health and energy level. right, and engages into relations for pleasure only, right? So that's the problem. Rather, one should take care to eat and drink only in order to be healthy in the body and the limb, right? So only rather he should take care to eat and drink only in order to be healthy in the body and the limb. So meaning whatever food is healthy. So again, there is no problem to enjoy it, but that should be our goal, right? Commentary. Of course, you can spoil you from time to time, but it should be like a minimal. The Rambam has just laid down the principle that all of the man's actions are to be carried out in a framework awareness of God. Yet, to exemplify this principle, he speaks not of awareness of God, but avoiding indulgence and maintaining one's health. Okay, so that's a very good point. Rambam introduces the maintenance of health as an immediate and intermediary goal, which provides us with a program of concrete actions. Okay. So it's actually, it's next chapter is about health. I mean, right. But before we got there. Okay. So again, let's read these few lines with the commentary and we're going to explain. Rambam has just laid down the principle that all of the man's actions should be carried out from framework of awareness of God, right? We just said that. And now he goes like a step back and said, and it should be healthy, right? So is it awareness of God or healthy? Yet he to exemplify this principle, he speaks not awareness of God, but to avoiding indulgence and maintaining one's health, as we explained why we need to be healthy. I mean, of course, we do whatever we can. HaShem decide who is going to be healthy or not. Whether pills or vitamins or procedures, they're going to help or be successful or not, it's in the hands of HaShem. But at least we have to do our ishtadlus. Right? You take a pill, you make a blessing, you pray to HaShem, and the rest is not in your health, in your hands. The Rambam introduces the maintenance of health as an immediate and intermediary goal. So immediate, meaning what you must do now, an intermediary goal, which will provide us with a program of concrete action. Right. So, I mean, that's the way I understand we're talking about next chapter. Continue. Therefore, he should not eat all of the palate desires like a dog and a donkey. So, the dog, I think if it has food, it's going to eat non-stop. Right? The same as donkey. So, we have to stop them from eating. Okay. Commentary. In Shmona Prakim, Rambam states, in such an activity of a person just like an animal, it is not an action that man undertakes because he is a man, but rather one that undertakes because he's an animal. So let's see again. So the Shmona Perkei Rambam states, in such an activity, so meaning a person eats, he cannot shut his mouth. Right, in such activities, a person is just like animal. So what is the difference? Animal eat and person eats. Right, animal cannot stop and person cannot stop. It is not an action that man undertakes that he is a man. It is not an action that man undertakes because he is a man, so he cannot stop eating, but rather that he but one that he undertakes because he's an animal. So, and of course, in a person is two parts. One is holy soul, and one is an animalistic soul. And of course, all of us must eat. But as we're going to see, I think maybe in this chapter, maybe not. Remember, so not to eat outside, not to eat in everybody's face, right? And not to eat disgusting food or something. Okay. Continue. Rather, he should eat what is beneficial for the body, be it bitter or sweet. So if it's beneficial for the body, sweet, okay, be sweet. bitter, right? So that's why that's how the person is different from animal. So animal is not going to eat like unhealthy food, even if it's vitamins or something. It's good for them. It's not going to eat. So, and it can die, but the person must realize, for example, somebody is smoking or I don't know something, right? So it's not good for me. It's not good for me, right? Of course, I'm not going to die from one cigarette, but in the long term, it's going to kill me. You understand? So, and a person or some other things, some people have special dietary needs. So, is it good? Like I don't know, like oatmeal without sugar, right? Without anything. So I tried a few times. It's unedible. I mean, of course, you can like if you're hungry, you're going to eat, but it's not so pleasant. But for example, if a person for his diet needs to do this oatmeal, that's what they must do. That's it. Edible, not edible, pleasant, not pleasant. It's irrelevant. Rather, he should eat what is beneficial for the body, be it bitter or sweet. Conversely, he should not eat what is harmful for the body, even though it is sweet to the palate. Right? A person like it and cannot stop it, and they call it sweet tooth and this and that. But from this sweet tooth comes a lot of cavities. That's the thing, and they cost a lot of money. One this thing can cost one root canal or something can cost more than all of the candies that person ate in the past 20 years or so. Commentary. The Rambam gives the full list of the proper eating habits in the following chapter. Here he cites only selected examples, right? So the following chapters would be about it's a health, okay, eating, how a person is supposed to sleep, right? All of this, yeah, intimate relations, all of these things. It's the next chapter, the way if I remember correctly. Chapter 4. For example, person with a warm constitution should not eat meat or honey, nor drink wine. As Shlomo HaMelech said in a parable, eating much honey is not good. Right, Mishlei 25:27. So here, the eating much honey is not good. So here, Rambam is taken literally. Literally meaning honey is not good. Is it tasty? It's very tasty, right? But it's not good for your health. And some other commentaries, I think Talmud interpret this verse as not to have too much intimate relations, right? Because then it's not good. Okay. All right. So meaning, and right. So and we're going to see in the next chapter that when Rambam is going to divide people with the warm consistency and cold consistency, right? And plus he's going to differentiate between the seasons. Is the winter season, right? If it's summer season, if somebody with a warm consistency in the summer when it's hot, and he or she eats these foods that are not good to them, so it's the result is going to be disastrous. One should drink in an end wine juice, even though it is bitter. Okay, so this is given as a remedy for a warm liver constitution. Maimonides medical aphorism. Warm liver constitution, whatever it means, I don't know. Okay, so meaning this juice is good for this. Okay. For then he will be eating and drinking for medical reasons only, in order to become healthy and be whole. For a man cannot exist without eating and drinking. Okay, so again, we all must eat and drink, right? And our goal should be servants of HaShem. So, for example, if it's kosher, 100% kosher, but would I be like tired because if I eat like a piece of meat, or if I eat a piece of I don't know chicken, chicken or maybe dairy, so I'm not going to be as tired. I'm going to have more energy, right? So the person must evaluate what is good for me for me to eat, not because I like it or I love maybe something that it's not very healthy for me, but how can I be the better servant of Hashem? That's the goal. Okay. So again, I'm going to read this because it's beautifully said. For then he will be eating and drinking for medical reasons only, right? When you do that, it's purely servant of Hashem. So our health should not be our end goal, right? In order to become healthy and be whole, for a man cannot exist without eating and drinking, right? But again, the goal is serving Hashem. Similarly, he should not engage physical intimacy except to keep the healthy body healthy and preserve the human race. Okay. To keep the body healthy, 25. See chapter 4, Halachah 19 for discussion of this matter. Yeah, we're going to go into details. Right, and preserve the human race. So that's a separate halacha, right? And commentaries say that Ravad mentioned the third reason for the physical intimacy, granting one's wife conjugal rights, right? So as Rambam does not mention the issue here because in this chapter he focuses on behaviors in which person engaged voluntarily, right? Meaning if it's according to contract or ksuba, so it's not exactly voluntarily, as expression of the personal desires. He discusses the man's conjugal obligation later in Mishnah Torah, Hilchos De'os, chapter 14. Right. So let's do it again and we're going to explain what it says. Ravad mentioned the third reason for physical intimacy. So meaning for pleasure, right? For preservation of human, apologize. For health reason, for preservation of human race, and for what is it? Wife's conjugal rights, meaning right. Okay, so three reasons. But here they say he mentioned only two. Why? Because he is only for pleasure. Because when he wants, maybe when his wife wants this relation, maybe he's not in a mood or something, right? So it's very interesting. Okay. So let's see. Let's continue. 26. Therefore, he should not engage in physical intimacy whenever he feels desired, but only when he knows that he requires for similar mission for medical reasons, right, or in order to preserve the human race. Okay. So right, so a person has to hold himself back. And commentaries say also chapter 5, Halachah 4, which discusses the frequency of sexual relations. So that's a separate story. The next commentary, it says, in his commentary to Mishnah Sanhedrin 7:4, Rambam writes, the intent of physical intimacy is a preservation of the species and not only pleasure, right? Meaning that Hashem wants this world to be populated. And Sefer HaChinuch uses this phrase many times, right? So Hashem said, I'm not sure if maybe it's from prophet somewhere. I don't remember exactly how the verse go, but I mean, but the main idea, yes. So Hashem did not create this world to be barren. Right? The intent of the physical intimacy is to preservation of the species and not only pleasure. The aspect of the pleasure was only introduced in order to arouse the created being toward the ultimate goal. Okay. Meaning, right, so this pleasure was introduced only so the people who would engage in relations. Otherwise, a person said, who needs that headache? Right, I better never going to get married, and who needs that? Right, that's why Hashem created pleasure and attraction between men and women. Okay, the proof of this is that desired pleasure ceases after ejaculation. So after the after the person finished, the action. That's it. He no longer has any desire, and we see from Avshalom, I think, was not from Avshalom. One of the sons of David, when he raped his half sister Tamar, right? He said after he had a relationship, he said, "I love you," this and that. After the relationship, he started hating her, and she said, "Okay, let's get married." And technically, they could have got married, I think, because they had the same father, but they had different mothers. I'm not sure if she was David's father, or if she was David's daughter 100% or not. Maybe his wife. I don't know. I don't want to say, but the way I remember, they were would be allowed to get married, right? Would be allowed to get married, but maybe she was before the conversion. I don't remember. The case, but after they had a relationship, he started hating her, right? Right. So again, the proof of this desire and the pleasure ceases after ejaculation, for this was the entire goal for which our instincts were aroused. So for this thing only, right? If this goal were pleasure, satisfaction would continue for a long time, right? As long as time the desire, as man desire, but it's not. Again, if goal were pleasure, right? Satisfaction would continue as long as a man desire, and we know that's not the case. Okay, so we finished with that halachah. Let me check time. 6 minutes. 1 second. So. Okay, so let's do. Okay, so let's do one more. So okay, one more. So it says Halachah number 3: a person who accustomed himself to give to live by the rules of medicine does not follow the proper path of his sole intention. If his sole intention is that the entire body and the limbs be healthy, and that have children who will do his work and toil for him. Rather, he should have intent that the body be whole and strong, in order for his inner soul to be upright, so that it will be able to know God. For it is impossible to understand and become knowledgeable in the wisdom when one is starving or sick, right? Or when one of his limbs pains him. Similarly, one should intend to have a son with the hope that perhaps he will be a wise and great man in Israel. So it's not because he's going to have my last name. No, because he might be somebody great in wisdom, right? Talmid Chacham. Thus, whoever walks in such a path, all his days will be serving God constantly, even in the midst of the business dealing, even during the physical intimacy. For his intent in all the matters is to fulfill his needs, so that his body be whole to serve God. Even when he sleeps, right, if he retires with intention that his mind and body rest, lest he take ill and be unable to serve God because he is sick, then his sleep is a service of omnipresent blessed be He, right? And we always have to have this intention. On these matters, our sages have directed and said, all your deeds should be for the sake of heaven. This is what Shlomo declared in the wisdom: know him, meaning HaShem, in all his ways, and he, meaning HaShem, will straighten your path. Right? It's from Mishlei 3:6. Okay, so let's Let's do these commentaries. And it says, a person who accustomed himself to live by the rules of the medicine does not follow the proper path. If his sole intent is that the entire body and limbs be healthy. So again, if the healthy life is the end goal, it's not proper. And commentary is saying, the Rambam puts the maintenance of health, of health mentioned in the previous halacha into proper perspective. So meaning in previous halacha we said that a person has to eat good foods, and even if it's not sweet, it's bitter, it's not taste good, but still it's good for his health, or some do whatever they need to do to keep up his health. That's what he must do, right? But it's not be the end goal. It is not to be pursued as a goal on its own right, exactly. But today, you see many people in our society, they health freak or whatever they call it, right? They all eat only organic or jog 100 miles a day or something, like breathe only like fresh air. Okay, all these crazy people. Rather, it should be appreciated as merely means to enable one to reach the awareness of God. So, meaning, this healthy body, as we're going to stay further, is help me to concentrate on other ideas, not on meeting the doctor. The Rambam develops this idea at length, Shmona Prakim 5, stating, a person should have an intention while eating, drinking, engaging in physical intimacy, sleeping, awakening, moving, and resting, that he does so for the purpose of his physical health alone. His intention in seeking physical health should be to prepare for the soul healthy and sound vessel to acquire the wisdom and intellectual and emotional advantages until he reached the goal of knowing God. So all of these physical activities person is doing in order to have this healthy body that can contain a healthy soul that can know God. And it's only exception from I'm talking from my experience. Of course, we know the exception. Our great rabbis, the biggest sages, maybe even today there are exception. One here and there. Like that people who are sick, they're going to know HaShem and going to learn Torah. Many people who has even minor illness, they say, no, I cannot do that. I cannot learn, I cannot do anything. Yeah, but I said, but you're doing something all of your free time? Yeah, I'm watching TV, I'm watching this, I'm watching that, that's my pleasure. But learning Torah, not so much. So meaning, because of the pain, because they cannot concentrate, because of this, because of that. Right, so meaning, what commentary here is saying, okay, commentary meaning it's Rambam in the Shmona Prakim, right? So he's saying, so in order for a regular person, regular person to serve Hashem, we need to have our body as healthy as possible. So if it needs a certain amount hours of sleep, so you must sleep. Right? If you need special food or abstain from some food, that's when you're abstaining from some food, I don't know, whatever is not good for you, like fatty food, salty food, or whatever, too sweet food. So you have to say, I'm doing it as a servant of Hashem, right? And I think in my mind it would be easier for us to stop doing some bad, like just quit bad habits if you say that's my source of Hashem. Okay. Right. So let's do this sentence again. Also, a person accustomed himself to live by rules of medicine does not follow the proper path in his soul. If his sole intention is the entire body and least be healthy, right? It's right as we said, and that he has children whom would do work for him. Do work and toil for him, right? So in olden days, as we said many times, that's people say, "Oh, I have 7 sons." Why he wants the 7 sons? Yeah, they work in the field until they get married, move out. So father, of course, he's happy for sons to get married, but he just lost a free worker, right? There is through the procreation, though procreation is valid reason for a physical intimacy, right? One's intent that procreation should not be selfish, right? Should not be selfish. We need to have sons that work for him. Rather, he should have an intent that his body is a whole, whole and strong, in order for his inner soul to be upright, so that it will be able to know God. Okay, so meaning very, very straightforward. Again, so the whole intention, the body be strong in order to, right, and upright, right, strong in order for its inner soul to be upright. Okay, because when person is sick, when a person goes through the pain from all of the health tribulation, so it's very easy for Eitz Hara to confuse person. Very easy with the pain, right? With the trouble, very easy, right? So we should do at least the best possible to avoid this trap. Commentary: the Rambam also elaborates on the interrelations between attainment of physical health and spiritual achievement in Guide of Perplexed, Volume 2, Chapter 27. Health is necessary part of one process to strive to know God. Okay, so, I mean, right, at least if person, I mean, if it's like a person was born sick or something like right, that's a different story, but otherwise person must preserve his health. Continue. For it is impossible to understand and become knowledgeable in the wisdom when one is starving or sick. So when somebody is starving, as the Perkova said, there is no flour, there is no Torah, right? So because guess what, a starving person cannot concentrate. Or when he's sick, so he's in a doctor. Like I go to this dentist, and sometimes, like I said, I cannot wait. Like you come, and you get to see him like 2 hours later. Like what's going on there? So a few times I scheduled to this to the first appointment. Okay, so I said when 6 months from now. First appointment, and they gave me the 2 times I got the first appointment. Guess what? He's like late 1 hour, like such a waste of life. So imagine, like I mean, he's not the worst person. He's a very good doctor, but imagine this sick person must go. Right, every few days have to go to the doctor, spend so many hours in the waiting room, all these people, sick people. Right, it's not very conducive to his servant of Hashem. Right, sorry, for sure. But it is impossible to understand and become knowledgeable in the wisdom when one is starving or sick, or when one is in limbs pains him. Commentary: the Maggid of Mezrich would say, a small hole in the body creates large hole in the soul. Beautifully said. A small hole in the body creates large hole in the soul. Very interesting. Similarly, one should intend to have a son with the hope that perhaps he will be wise and great man in Israel. Right. Meaning not to work for me, but he should be Talmid Chacham. Commentary: this is desired goal in procreation, to perpetuate the nation, not only physically but also in soul spiritually, meaning that he is going to be continue learning Torah. Continue. Thus, whoever walks in such a path all his days will be serving God. We're serving God constantly, even in the midst of the business dealings. Meaning, I'm doing this business dealings and invest my energy only because I need to provide for my family, right? And I want after this business deal, I want free time. I want to learn Torah, but what can I do? That I live in physical world and I have to pay my bills and I have to eat and I have to drink and I have responsibility, right, for my family. Okay, so in this business dealing, now it's serving Hashem. Even during the physical intimacy, for his intent in all matters, is to fulfill his needs, so that the body be whole and service of Hashem. Right. So as we saw for in intimate needs. Right. So we said for health reason. Right. From procreation. So now he can serve Hashem. Commentary. In Shmona Prekim, Rambam associates such a behavior with Dvarim 6:5, where it says, "Love God, your Lord, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might." So it's from Shema. The course of action described enables us to dedicate every aspect of our being toward the love of God, as prescribed in this verse. Right. Beautifully said. Continue. Even when he sleeps, if he retires with intention that his mind and body rest, lest they take ill and unable to serve God because he is sick, then his sleep is the source of the omnipresent, blessed be he. Right. So again, when he sleeps, right, when he retires with intention that his mind and body rest, right, let's become sick, because many people, and I warn people, some people, I don't know, they try to cut back on their sleep, and they ask me, I had constantly back on this question, right, and I said it's very, very, very dangerous. So you have to know your limit. First of all, and we discussed, I think, in this class how to test yourself, where's your limit. Right, but if you go and try to push it beyond the limit, it could be could end up with a big disaster, right? Because immune level is going to go down, because you don't have enough energy, and Chas v'Shalom, a person can get sick just from lack of sleep. Continue. Commentary. Perhaps Rambam uses the name of God to convey the concept that just as a God presence pervades all existence, our service of him must be encompassed in all aspects of life. Beautifully said. Continue. On this matter, our sages, ours 2:12, have directed and said, and all your deeds should be for the sake of heaven. So let's see the commentary. In Shmona Prekim, Rambam elaborates upon this statement as follows. Our sages included this entire concept in the most succinct expression possible. When one meditates on this concise statement, one wonders how they could desire, how could they describe in its entirety idea of the so awesome that many books were written about it without encompassing it totally. Without a doubt, the statement was made with divine inspiration. Right. So meaning the statement, all of your deeds should be for the sake of heaven. So that's how he characterized this statement. Commentary. Continues. The commentary is noted in that Beitza 16a. State that concerning Hillel, all of his deeds were for the sake of heaven, and associate that with the following narrative Vayikra Rabbah 34:3. So all of Hillel, all his deeds were for the sake of heaven. Hillel did not study. Hillel bid his students farewell. Okay, they asked him where he was going. He told them that he was going to perform a mitzvah, right? So he said in the middle of the class, middle of the day, so I have to go and I have to do a mitzvah. They discovered that he was going to the bathhouse and asked him to explain his previous statement. So all other people just go there for pleasure. And he told them, since human body is created in the image of God, it is a mitzvah to wash oneself, right? So Hillel said, I'm going to do a mitzvah. Okay, so meaning this body that I have to preserve, that Hashem gave you, means I have to take care of it. So it's very important for all of us. So we cannot seem unkept or something, right? We have to take care of ourselves, so hygiene, right? And take showers and as many times as you need to, right? So and other things. Okay. So continue. We're almost done. And last sentence, but there are a few more commentaries. It says that this is what Shlomo declared in his wisdom: know him, and HaShem, in all your ways, and he will straighten your paths. So let's see commentary in Avos the Rabbi Nassan, 17:7. Also associate the above statement with a biblical quote. Okay. Brachas 63b describe this verse as a small passage upon which all of the fundamentals of the Torah depends. Right, small passage. So, know him in all your ways. Note that the Rambam commentary Shmona Prakim there. Okay, Likutei Sichos, I think from Lubavitch Rebbe, volume 3, notes that the rules of the Torah scholarship would have called for the quotation of the biblical verse before the quotation of the sages. Right? Usually there is a precedence, and it's in the first part of this book, right? So there's a precedence when you want to bring out the proofs. First, you if you have from Chumash, you bring from Chumash. There's no better source from Chumash than you have from prophets, from writings, right? And only then you do from other books, right? But here the Rambam bring from sages and then from the Torah. Very interesting. However, Rambam chooses this sequence because it reflects the progression of the source of God. All of your deeds should be for the sake of heaven implies that the deeds are not themselves holy, right? Merely that they are directed toward the godly intent. So deeds maybe, right, as we said, sleeping or eating, how is it holy? Maybe it's not, right? But if they become holy, only when you apply it to the for the holy intent, right? Know him in all your ways implies that the bond with God can establish with the context of your physical activity itself. Again, know him in all your ways, all our ways, of course, physical ways, implies that the bond with God can be established with the context of our physical activity itself, as we explained. And last commentary, Igras HaKodesh, Ramban, interprets the state described in this clause as a natural product of elevating a rank of source mentioned in the previous clause, right? So now, meaning that we do everything for the sake of HaShem, right? And He would straighten your path. So know Him in all your ways, and now it's upgrade, and He will straighten your path. When a person develops all his encompassing bond with God, divine light will illuminate his path. So now, when divine light illuminates our path, as Holy Ramban said, so meaning that, Sarah, you have no doubts what to do. Very interesting, right? And this area that would be obscure for you, maybe it's black or white or gray or I don't know, many shades of gray. Now it's not. Now it's not. You know exactly what to do. Why? Because you desire to be close to God, and Hashem shine on your ways. Right? That's amazing. Right? So we stop here, and we got up to chapter number 4 about health. Of course, we have to read introduction to that chapter, right? Introduction to the chapter, because as we understand, not everything applied today in our generation, because constitution of the people change, food change, everything change, right? So chicken egg, is it good or not good? In olden days, it was a chicken. It ate whatever the grain, ate or whatever it could find. That's it. That's chicken. But now today they feed them all kind of garbage. You understand? I mean, so whatever was healthy back then, and now maybe it's not so healthy. Of course, we're going to try to learn about it as much as possible. That's Hashem.